Hey folks, what's up? Thanks for checking out I Suck at Painting. Today we are going to do some riveting. Alright, so this is going to be a very short but very useful video in which we will make some of these rivet tools. These are two different sizes I had made earlier, and we'll just make another one today. The idea from this came from an awesome video by Rivets And Dakka, where he covered lots of different riveting tools. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I've been doing it the hard way for a long time. I'm going to show you how to make a riveting tool today. Oh, and before we go on, this was a pretty cool week for the channel. Wednesday was the 1-year anniversary of the first real video that I posted on YouTube. And on that exact same day, we had number 400 of you fine people who took the time to subscribe to this little channel. So I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you guys. It's kind of crazy to me. I know it's not, a huge number compared to a lot of people's channels, but for me, it's pretty big. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Okay, so going on to making this tool, we will need a few things. We will need a piece of plastic rod. This is a 2mm plastic rod. We'll need a knife. We will need a pin vise. And we will need, oh, I dropped it in the water, the handle of a crappy brush that we're not going to use anymore. And this is ridiculously easy. Oh yeah, we'll also need a sanding stick. So here's one. Alright, so to do this, we are simply going to cut off a length of this plastic rod. You can make this as long or as short as you want. It's not really that important. We're just going to break a piece off here. The next thing we want to do is we want to try to get the end that we're going to use to make our rivets as flat as possible. So I'm just going to use this sanding stick for that. Just going to try to get it smooth. And that looks good enough. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is drill a hole in here. I made two different sizes previously. I'm both using this 2mm plastic rod. One drill bit that I used is a 1.6mm, and the other one is a 0.8. So we can get a couple different sizes. The nice thing about this tool is it gives you a uniform size, both width and height, for your rivets, and you can do these very quickly. At the end here, I'll show you how to do the rivets as well. If you're using a real thin bit like this, it's not super important to get your hole right in the middle, but if you want to, you can just, you can use a poker tool, find your center. If you're using a much bigger or a much wider bit, that's a little more important. But if you're using a thin one, it doesn't really matter if you're in the center or not. And you don't want to go super deep with this, or maybe you do. That just depends on how tall you want your rivets to be. Okay, so you probably can't even see that on camera, but anyway, the hole's there. So I'm just going to grab this one because it's already got a wider bit in it, and then we're just going to make a hole in our brush handle. And we're going to stick this thing in here. You can glue it if you want. I didn't glue either of mine, and those things are not coming out of there. So it's up to you if you want to use glue or not. But basically just get yourself a hole. Doesn't have to be super deep, whatever. Which end? Okay, that end. And just stick it in there. That's basically it. That's how you make it. So I'm going to mix up some putty real quick, and we'll come back and show you how to use this tool. Okay, so I have some putty mixed up here. This is the Tamiya putty. I'm sure this works with pretty much anything. And we're going to use the 1.6 mil tool that we just made. If you want a wider rivet, you could use something like, skewer and a wider drill bit. That'll give you a wider rivet. Or if you want something with more flexibility without having to make a bunch of these, you can head over to Rivets And Dakka's channel and check out his video on rivet tools. It's really good. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. So this is super easy to do. You just roll out a bit of your putty, and the important thing is for every rivet that you make, you're going to want to dip this tool, the tip, in some water before you go to make your rivet. Otherwise it's going to stick inside the tool, and that's not what we want. So this is super easy. Like I said, I'm going to dip in the water here and put the putty where we want to make the rivet. Find the end, push in, pull the putty away, and you're left with the rivet. And I'm going to dip, do it again. Oop, too much water that time. Okay. Sometimes that happens, and you just need to clean out the tool. That's fine. Just use a little something with a pokey bit. Clean it out, and there you go. Rivet. Okay, so this is, like I said, it's super easy. Again, it goes pretty fast. Once in a while, it'll stick in the tool, but really it's not a big deal. And here you can see, hopefully you can see, here's the two different sizes of rivets that I made before. They're all the same height, they're all the same width. Sometimes you do get a little bit of press out around the edge, but that's easy. You can just pull that away with your finger before it hardens, and it's good to go. Okay, so I'm going to link Rivets And Dakka's video downstairs there, so please go check that out. It's really good. And thank you all for watching. Now go do some rivets.